Okay, welcome everybody. I was going to do a quick first impressions video of the F38 module in X-Plane. I had recorded about an hour video earlier, and for whatever reason it did not record, so I'm doing it again. Sorry if I sound a little bit frustrated, but I hate redoing everything all over again. Anyways, we are here in the F38 VTOL jet. Now, I love the idea of VTOL jets because, you know, you have the versatility of a helicopter being able to go places that a plane cannot go, and you have the speed of a modern jet. And I spent my first few hours here in X-Plane, so I've gotten a little bit used to it. There's still quite a few tweaks here and there. For one thing, like this airport, this is Sky Harbor International Airport, with apparently no buildings around. The settings presets is on Ultra. All settings are on Ultra, so I kind of don't really understand how this is like in Ultra settings. Anyways, we are here, like I said, at Sky Harbor International Airport. This is here in Arizona, where I am from. Just looking around at that building back there, I'm thinking that that is one of the college buildings. It's like a trade school just off the freeway. I think I've seen that. I mean, I know I've seen it, driven by it many times. But I thought I would take a look around my home city, and we will admire the F38. And when you look down over here, you can see downtown Phoenix, or at least a few of the buildings. I mean, we don't have much of a downtown. You know, Phoenix is mostly flat and built outward. It's not built upward. It's kind of built out rather than up. But I do believe that downtown looks a little bit better than that. So here is the cockpit of the F38. When I first saw this, I thought that it looked completely fake. I didn't believe that this could be the real cockpit. However, I looked on Google, and you can do the same thing. F-35 cockpit, and this is pretty much what it looks like. I mean, this is a bare bone cockpit. This is a modern day aircraft. Everything is computerized. The VTOL systems are automatically controlled by the computer. The flaps are controlled by the computer. The landing gears controlled by the computer. And if you pass out, pilot becomes incapacitated, etc., the plane will take over and fly itself. It will level itself out if it detects that you're spinning towards the ground. Right here on the right hand side, you'll see the auto recovery. You get yourself into some situation that you cannot recover from. You got 4 LCD panels in front of you, but these are all touch screens. Right here you have the status of the jet, you have the gross weight, the middle vent that is open from the front, and the nozzle for the vertical takeoff. You sit here, just click on this, it switches it to auto. That means that it will the computer will automatically manage all these systems. It'll enter VTOL mode when it detects that those conditions have been met, and it will enter into normal flying mode. I don't have any throttle approached. Anyways, I like to use manual. My Warthog has a little stick on the right hand side, a axis. Now if you look right here towards on the right hand side, you'll see the number in the degrees that the nozzle is out. Full up is 100%, that's full flight mode. You can angle it down 14 degrees, 32 to 100%. I'm going to bleed some fuel here to get us lower enough down to be able to take off, because right now we're too heavy for VTOL. There's just too much weight. I'm going to recreate some of the conditions that I did on the first video that you guys won't get to see, unfortunately. Hopefully this one will work properly. And I believe we need to get down to about 37% on the fuel. As you saw me clicking here, and that changed it. Everything else works the same way. Basically, you can click on your lights, navigation lights. You can click on your gear, on the picture of the aircraft here. Everything is touchscreen. I mean, it's really crazy to think about it. I'm just not used to seeing stuff like that, you know. On a normal aircraft, everything is, you know, so many buttons, and you know, you click on levers and physical devices to change things in the helicopter, on the plane. But in the F-35, I mean, you just touch a button on the screen. It really makes me wonder, you know, like what happens if you lose your electronics? I mean, are you doomed or what? One cool thing about here is a helmet-mounted display, not the heads-up display. Now the what would be a traditional HUD in a normal aircraft is the helmet-mounted display in the F-35. Now the HUD will follow you around wherever you go. You have your display all around you, and in the real aircraft you can actually look down below the aircraft, and you can see through it using I believe it's called a DAS system. It also provides you with actually being able to see through clouds. So you can be flying at high altitude for a bombing run on a no visibility day, and you would have no issues. Okay, let's go down here. We will go ahead and get going. I'm going to try not to move too much faster, even though I am still, you know, kind of frustrated about losing all my recordings. It was about an hour long. The F-35 flies like a dream. If you have helicopter experience such as I do, this acts in a very similar manner, using your throttle somewhat like a collective, pitching forward a little bit to gain speed. However, I do not want to develop too much speed. One thing that I've noticed with X-Plane, it has this view here that you're seeing that switches over when you enter a certain altitude. I'm not really quite sure what causes that. I do know that I do not like it. And every once in a while these displays, they don't want to work anymore. I have a feeling this has to do with my recording settings. Okay, so let's see what we should check out first. Let's go down to downtown Phoenix. I also want to get rid of the bars on the left and right and top of the screen. I have no idea how to get rid of that in X-Plane. And this view, I normally get rid of it by clicking up here. However, there is nothing to select there right now. I just can't get rid of it. I have no idea what's going on with my recording. Once more, trying to record and having some issues. Let's go over. Now on the left-hand side of the HUD, you'll see the airspeed, 13 miles an hour. Pretty strange for a plane. Or that's 3 knots, 2 knots. I always say miles per hour. I always do that. You got your altitude on the right, 1,380 feet, and the FPM below that is the vertical flight speed, the feet per minute. So we're losing 60 feet. I am just adjusting the throttle a little bit here. Let's get us back onto a climb. Pitch forward. Let's go check out downtown Phoenix a little bit. Now I'm adjusting the rear thruster, angling it a bit at about 83. Okay, welcome back everybody. We had our first crash on X-Plane, first crash ever. Kind of a bummer. And here we see a train over to the lower right. That's pretty cool. We were just heading down to downtown, so that's where we will resume. Now the F-35 has automatic everything, which I think is really strange. I've always said that I've always loved technology, new gadgets, and new things that come out. So I find it kind of strange that I almost find myself with the F-35 saying, automatic flaps, automatic landing gear, automatic, even auto landing if you set the autopilot for a glide scope, glide slope. Sorry guys. And yeah, but anyways, it's just kind of strange. I mean, the whole plane does quite a bit on its own. Here we are flying over. We are heading towards downtown Phoenix, I believe. And as I said before, you can tilt in any direction, and the helmet-mounted display will follow with all your information on the screen, which I think is pretty awesome. And it might actually help with the recording because I can keep track of what I'm doing, where I'm going. And same thing in the real world. You could be checking out your targets in the air or on the ground without losing track of critical information from the aircraft. Whereas before, with the heads-up display is a hologram that's kind of projected onto the screen of the aircraft in front of you. With the F-35, the information is actually on the helmet of the pilot. So as the pilot turns his head, everything goes with him. I have gotten a little bit lost here. I don't think this is downtown Phoenix. This is somewhere else. These building over here looks pretty interesting though. I need to follow the freeway. If I follow the freeway, I will know exactly where I'm at. We took off from Sky Harbor International Airport. Oh no, you know what? I do believe this is the little bit of downtown we have here in Phoenix. Like I said, if you're from a big city, this is probably laughable for you. But, Phoenix, we grow outward instead of upward. Now this is what I love with the VTOL though, is we can take our time and we can just fly around very slowly like you would with a helicopter. As you see, I'm going 92 knots at 1,700 feet. I am on a slow descend right now because I want to get a good look at these buildings. And we could just take our time. We could just loiter around here as much as we want. And my first impression of X-Plane, I like it a lot. It's quite a bit different from DCS World. I thought that I'd be bored to tears with it because there's no combat. Unfortunately, I can't check out any of the combat systems on this beautiful plane, which is kind of disappointing, but at the same time, it is still fun. Once you reach an altitude, it always does this camera thing. I'm going to look into how to turn that off. One of the buttons on the bottom of the screen I think does it, but I've clicked on a few of those things a few times and gotten myself brutally murdered. Turned off an engine or it did something and I had no idea of how to recover. So this building looks interesting. Let's see if I can actually click on the HUD this time. I'm still not able to click on the screen. I could turn this off if I had access to these. For some reason, it is just not working. It is just... Okay, now I'm all distracted here. Here we go, gaining altitude a little bit. Not enough. Oh yeah, just barely. Ah, Jesus. That's why I do not like that view. Well, you know, I still had my information. I just wasn't paying attention to it. I was chatting with you guys and that kind of good stuff. Let my speed get away from me. It's the same thing with like a helicopter. When flying these VTOL aircraft, is they are very easy to fly, but if you lose your concentration for a minute, they will kill you. Now, I've recorded this a handful of times before, and this is the first time that I'm seeing Phoenix from this point of view. I'm not quite sure exactly where we're at. We're not too far away from the Sky Harbor International Airport, but I did lose my way along the lines here, flying around and doing this recording several times over because of my recording software is having a hard time capturing it's having a really hard time capturing X-Plane for some reason. And it took me a while to figure that out. Then I had a crash. Quite a bit of traffic down below. Let's see. There we go. Okay, now we got that option turned off. And hopefully the recording is still working. We will follow this street down. I wish I knew what street I was at. This is my home city, but I'm just feeling lost because there's so much going on at the moment with recording this several times over and doing the same things over and over. I'm trying to think of what I covered, what I haven't covered, and my mind is a little bit preoccupied with the VTOL system. So, little cul-de-sac over there. I've gotten lost in my own real world city. It is really cool flying around in your own city. You know, you would think that you would want to mostly go to more exotic areas, places that you want to visit in real life but haven't been able to, and things like that, rather than, you know, just going where you live. But, you know, I found it to be quite rewarding. I mean, it's kind of cool because, you know, yeah, sure, I live in Phoenix, but I never I don't fly in real life. I don't fly around Phoenix. You know, I've flown, but never nothing like this, you know. So it's just kind of like a cool, different perspective of things. Let's go ahead and pick up speed here a little bit. I'm changing the altitude, the settings of the nozzle to about 68%. We're at 109, 110%, or 120 knots. I'm going to go ahead and raise the nozzle to full speed. Cut back in the throttle. We're reaching the speed of 150. This jet is very light. Let's go for a fly around. This is what I love about the VTOL system is, you know, you have the speed of a jet. And just like a helicopter though, you can, you know, you can sit around and enjoy the scenery. And that's what I love doing. I'll go ahead and manually raise the gear. Thump thump. I wonder if that sounds so loud like that in the real jet. From what I hear, they say that the model in this game is quite accurate. The HUD and the cockpit is spot on to real life. And when I looked at the images of the jet in the real world, I did find out that yes, it is indeed quite similar to it in real life. Now when I use the 3D mode, as you can see, aside from entering this really annoying view, where I can no longer see my, well, I guess I can, power 64% thrusters. When I look to the side, when I bank, it will actually look slightly over to the side, which I think is interesting. I guess it's nice. I guess it's supposed to help people, like if you don't have track IR like I do not. I do have a Vive though, a VR headset, where I can free look around, but it's just I don't like bothering with it too much. But I just want manually control. I have the looking control set up so that I can look around, and this X-Plane likes to disable that for some reason. And here from the outside you can see that we are in full airplane mode now. I really do not like this skin. Huh. I had a nice skin selected before for my other aircraft, or my other recordings that crashed, and the other one recorded all black. Here we are over Phoenix. Just one flat area, man. Now let's see, I did go over to some radio towers that I had always been curious about. That's behind Sky Harbor International Airport. And I took a jet over to it to check it out, and it turned out it is a radio tower. And had some fun discovering some roads and everything that were up there. I didn't notice that there were some windy roads that went up there. I mean, I guess they would have to be for workers. So here we are at 435 knots at 2,900 feet. Just hit 3,000 feet. Still climbing a little bit. I am at 62% power. Bring it down to 53%. This airplane climbs so easy. Let's go ahead and go over to these mountains here. The detail of the mountains looks really nice. Now again, my favorite thing to do with the VTOL aircraft is, you can slow down. We will enter a hover state here at about 240 knots. Now there's a transition stage between when you hit below 100 miles or kilometers an hour, or 100 knots, and your wings are no longer providing lift. Whereas like right now, my wings are still providing a little bit of lift, even though I'm in the vertical mode. You just heard the vent doors open up. I'm going to change the thruster to 100% down, which means we're going to gain a lot of lift because the wings at 130 are still providing a tiny bit of lift. And the thruster is helping with the lift. And now as we hit the 80 speeds, it's barely doing anything. So what happens is there will be a shift where the aircraft kind of starts sinking a lot faster than it was initially sinking. And if you do not catch it in time, you'll start plummeting to the earth and you'll crash. So let's take a look at this beautiful little forest area. I'm not sure where we're at in Phoenix. It's a little bit cloudy too, and I do have the simulator set up. It is drawing real weather information real time. I do not, however, have the day of time set up to synchronize because it's nighttime and I wanted a good look of the city in the daytime. But we ended up not spending too much time over the city anyways. Now I am adjusting my rudder pedals and the throttle quite often here. It's kind of a dance, you know, the same thing with the helicopter. Adjusting the collective and everything. Now, I haven't figured out if there's actually a vertical, like an auto hover like in the helicopter or not, with the F-35. There may be. Even though this is technically not a first impression video, since I've already flown and crashed and had to re-record, not crashed the plane, but you know, crashed the recording and had to re-record. I'm still under 5 hours of experience, so I'm still fairly new at flying this aircraft. And you can see how this plane is so nice. It's so fun to fly. It handles nicely. It's not like if you ever flown one of the Harrier VTOLs, they can be quite finicky. It takes quite a bit to tame them. Okay, we've checked out this area long enough. Let's turn the nozzle to 70% forward. Get some speed up. 100 knots, 120 knots. Okay, we should be good here to go at least 50. And let's go pure flight. Landing gear in. This game, on top of liking to spawn a bunch of deer, they'll spawn these weather balloons, which I think is pretty cool. Kind of interesting. Like, you know, what's your obsession with hot air balloons? You know. Let's go ahead and head back to the city area, and then we will head. Let's see. We'll probably head south. Here's the downtown area, I believe. I'm also getting used to rudder pedals. I've never had rudder pedals before, and I find myself always moving my pedal in one way or the other. Like I had just discovered right now as I was turning that I actually had a little bit of right pedal, right rudder applied the whole time, which is kind of weird. 530 knots. Very easy for this jet. We are going back around to where we started. Some of the downtown buildings, downtown Phoenix. Now, with the controls on the X-Plane, like I keep saying, I get really lost. Well, see, now I'm in this view again, and I hate this. Okay, I have to go back up so I get back in a normal camera view. Okay, now can I look around? Still can't look around. What I want to look at is I want to change my map so that I can actually get a compass. We need fuel here. You can actually change your fuel on the fly, which makes this game easier to use than DCS World, where you have to always find an airport and land and refuel. Now, if you're a hardcore sim fan, I imagine you would hate that. You'd probably hate that feature in X-Plane. But I like it. Lets me fly this jet around, because, you know, normal in real life, in a jet, you probably would not be flying long distances. Not that we've flown too long a distance, but I did dump a bunch of fuel out. But I watched videos of people flying across country, and when you're doing it in a jet, moving over at, you know, Mach 1.5, you can get around. You can do some fast flying. And you know, I've enjoyed this game more than I thought I would, just because it's really fun flying around and being able to fly across the state. and you know, you can go from state to state. So you know, I can fly around Arizona, go into California, go into Mexico. I can go to Vegas, which I downloaded. I downloaded high resolution maps for Vegas and for Arizona. Mountains are looking pretty nice with this windy road going through it. Very cool. Again, I am very, very irritated with this view. But you see, even when I turn off the 3D cockpit, I still cannot use the view commands. I can't look around. I can snap it to sides. So let's go flying around. Very Algorian, full on 610 knots. We have an airport down here of some kind. Let's pull up the map. We will synchronize. Scottsdale, huh, with deer and bird. Okay, so we started at Sky Harbor, I believe. Biltmore Golf Course. Yeah, we started here at Sky Harbor. I believe this is my old flight plan too, where I flew all around, kind of looped. You know, I never heard of these. Horseshoe Dam, Bartlett Dam. I'm not sure how to read the like, you know, AZ52. Like, I don't know if that's a GPS coordinates. AZ52. But it'd be nice. This airplane does have a pretty good autopilot system. You can put in a whole flight plan and it will fly around for you. Let me see if I can actually put that in here. A Z 52. Set our speed up, altitude. Now, so the question is, you know, I don't know how to get there using these screens here. And when I try to move around, it just locks. The other guy who did the tutorial on here, there was something he clicked on here and it was like a tablet. His option for me is missing, which means that I don't know. I mean, there has to be something that I'm missing here. And I'm not quite sure how to find things on the map either. Like, It seems like there should be some type of a marker. There's the Roosevelt Dam. Let's see. And this game likes to withhold information, I've noticed. Maybe I'm just thinking things wrong, but I'm never able to see like coordinates or any type of like information. Let's see here. I wish I could look down because I need to access my controls so that I can change something. And with everything locked the way it is, I just, I can't look to access my controls. I don't really get that about X-Plane. I need to look up some of the controls here. I punched in a heading of 300. Let's see if this takes us over to the dam. Yes, it did. Level is right off. I've got my hands completely off the control, letting the airplane do its thing. Change the autopilot from GPS mode to heading mode. Let's check back on the map. We should be heading towards the dam. Yes, we are. Let's make a turn at about 240. As you can see, as soon as I start changing the heading, the plane banks itself. Let's go ahead and slow down quite a bit here. Always kind of freaks me out when you put in a new altitude, and the plane kind of takes over and you start kind of slowly diving. There's this little panic mode for me where I'm kind of like, do you really know what you're doing, plane? Let's see, where is that dam? That damn dam that we were checking out here. We should be right over it. Okay, what am I stuck on? I wish I can get this little thing over here that's stuck on here now. Well, there's Bartlett, or I think it was called Scarlet Dam. No, it is Bartlett. It's kind of funny, You grow up someplace and you find a place you've never heard of before. I'm gonna go ahead and disable autopilot and take us down. See what we can see. There's quite a few clouds over here. I haven't. This is going to sound bad, but I work night shifts, so I sleep all during the daytime, and I was inside. I haven't been outside yet, which sounds pretty bad if you think about it being like 10 at night. But you know, I woke up at like 6, and then I wanted to get this recording out for you guys because I've tried and I've tried and I've tried, and I just have not had luck with the recording. Extend my speed brakes. And somewhere out here there is a dam. Let's see if we can find it. I'm not seeing any water. I did see a little bit of water a ways back. We are starting to fall pretty fast. So you can hear the engines kicking up here as I get us set. The biggest thing with these aircraft is that you do not want to roll too hard to one side, because just like a helicopter, you'll start sinking as a rock once you get sideways enough, because you will just you know, there's no thrust keeping you up, and you can quickly lose control. They're not hard machines to fly. It just takes a bit of concentration, and things can change on you on a dime. I've got a little bit of right rudder, and adjusting my pitch and my roll to keep everything as even as I can. You know what? I don't know why my airspeed is reading 0. We obviously are not moving at 0. But let's go ahead and stop here for a moment. That was a rough landing. This dang thing is still here on my screen, conveniently blocking my entire vision of the area that I wanted to see. Now I know this probably is not X-Plane's fault. It's just, you know, me being new. So let's see, what else do we have around here? How far can I go out? How far out can I go? It looks like I can only go about this far out before everything goes away. Payson's up here. Pleasant Valley. This is pretty cool. Okay, so from where I'm facing, Sedona is right over here. Okay guys, we are back again after another crash. I have put in our GPS coordinates that I found. Let's go for a flight. I think the crashing is related to recording, because I had 0 crashes before I tried recording this. Let's see, let's turn this on. I did find out how to turn on my display, my I found out how to turn off the things on top of the screen. They're just here by selecting this little bit right here. And again, I'm not paying attention while I'm flying because I had all that junk happen. It got me severely distracted. From what I understand, I'm supposed to be able to click on this, and this should enable my autopilot right here, but it's just it's never wanted to work that way. There we go. We will let it fly the GPS. For some reason, this thing has just kind of gone bonkers. Shaky screen here. Let's see what's going on here exactly. There we go. It says ship mode. Not sure what that means. So we're going to Deer Valley Airport. Let's go ahead and speed up a little bit here. We're going to do a low-level flight. Let's bring this all the way down here to about 6,000, let's say. We do have the terrain following radar. And we will let the plane fly to its destination. This is quite cool. Come on, we were in a jet. We can do faster than this. And now there's this big green X here in these airports. It looks like they were being highlighted. It's never happened before. Seems that while recording with you guys, I am getting a whole lot of new options that I've never I've just never seen, never had happen before. Here you can see a good example of how the aircraft has locked onto a location, and you can actually see the camera that's mounted onto the landing gear and on the bottom of the plane is visible through the pilot's eyes, and you can look through the plane and actually under clouds. So now the question is what can I look up here? Because I actually wanted to find more than just airports. I wanted to find